Do you know these days when you start drawing and you look at the timer and somehow 3 hours went by without you even noticing? What if I told you that you can activate this way of Artflow whenever you want at any time? So I noticed certain patterns when this thing would happen, like when I would draw up on hours without even noticing. And this includes certain things I'm doing before I actually start to draw. So the first advice I would actually give is to set up the environment in a good way, which means I really like to, draw in the evening where I can put on warm lights with a fairly clean table. Just try to not put things on a table that will distract you. I also like, if I don't have to use my phone, to just put it in a drawer or put it outside of the room. At least go into flight mode and flip it upside down so you don't get tempted. Because our brain works the way that if we just look up a WhatsApp message for 1 second, it takes our brain 15 minutes to 20 minutes to get back into this art flow or flow in general at the thing we're working at. Because when you think about the fact why people binge watch Netflix things, they're not gonna binge watch Netflix if they're feeling uncomfortable. They're laying in their fucking beds, snuggled up, being warm, having food on their side, low lights. So why not just do that entire thing for drawing session? Obviously you cannot lay in bed. Maybe you can with an iPad and shit. So dim the lights, make yourself a cup of tea, and especially make sure that you have enough water. Because if you only bring 1 bottle to your room, you will eventually have to stand up and go to the kitchen and probably interrupt this entire session. So put at least 2 bottles of water on your desk so you can flawlessly continue drawing. The next thing is actually an application called PureRef, and this thing is a fucking game changer. I can recommend to everybody to have a second monitor because it's just, bro, trust me, it doesn't have to be expensive. It can be a $50 monitor, but it's the best investment you will ever be able to do. And then you get yourself the application PureRef. It's completely free, and it also works really simple. You can just drag and drop into it references and scale them and shit. And the best thing is it overlays other tabs. So if you're watching a podcast or listening to music, you can it's so easy to navigate this thing. So I would definitely recommend to set it up and put in some references you want to use for this drawing session. When it comes to the drawing software, obviously everybody has his own preference. I, for example, use Clip Studio because I think it's the simplest thing. For that I used Krita, Photoshop and Procreate, and I gotta say that Photoshop is kinda overkill. It's if you want to edit a simple video but you're gonna use Premiere, which is obviously you're not limited and shit, but you don't really need those things. And that's the reason why I like Clip Studio. And especially you can also animate in Clip Studio, which is pretty chill. It's not too expensive, so that's the reason why I like Clip Studio. But if you're completely broke and you don't want to get some viruses on your fucking PC or some bullshit, so just try to pick one and stick to it and learn it and get comfortable, set it up the way you prefer it, make yourself some shortcuts so you don't have technical issues while drawing. The next thing I like to do is to listen to lo-fi music or something that's not too distracting, because I notice when I listen to rap music or something I know and I want to sing with the song, I get way too distracted. So I like to listen to lo-fi music or put on a podcast or interview or some way of long video that's maybe some lore explanation or some anime analyzing video, some bullshit like that. And I don't think it's actually that distracting, because you will get into this deep workflow and then you will on the side notice it, but it's not really taking too much attention away from you. So that's something I would recommend you to make just a playlist on YouTube with all of the random videos you want to watch on the side. These would be, for example, videos I would watch on the side whilst drawing. And the next thing, in order to avoid Artblock, how many people call it, is to just set up things you want to do it the next day. Because maybe you're creative right now and you have stuff flowing in your mind, but maybe not tomorrow when you actually have time to draw. So I would take the day before that and actually choose references and things you want to draw and you know, scheduled for the next day. So when you wake up the next day and you sit down to draw, you don't have to look at the blank canvas and be like, oh, what should I draw today? So you can just take a look at your pin wall on Pinterest, put it into PureRef and start drawing or practicing. And also one application I probably use the most out of all is Apple Notes. I mean, you don't have to use Apple Notes. You can also use Notion or other like things for notes. But I like Apple Notes because it's simple and it's connected to my phone. And bro, I use it so much to write down so many ideas for random things like manga one-shot ideas, story ideas, character design ideas, video ideas, everything. And then you literally have a list of 100 things you want to do and sound cool, and you can pick the one that you prefer at the moment the most. So that's actually the way how I get myself to draw and do all of those things instead of being like, oh, I have Artblock. Shut the fuck up, bro. You don't have art. You're just a lazy fuck. Let's be honest. You're just lazy as fuck, bro. Like, oh, I have, you know, I made this one reel where I ask people what actually is Artblock, because I don't understand it, to be honest. And people were like, oh, it's like hard to describe. Oh, you know, when you have something in your mind but you cannot draw it. Bro, that's a fucking skill issue. Then look at the things you want to draw, analyze what's included in those pictures. Is it anatomy? Is it rendering? Then you study those things. You make yourself a list. You make yourself a goal. And then you step for step like go towards it, like being like, oh, you know, I just don't my hand, bro, you're fucking lazy. Shut the fuck up. Like, what the fuck, dude? If you're some art block bitch, bro, fuck off. Literally. Anyways, as always, never forget,
Are you for real? We can't live
Oh, well.
without them. I knew I should
Whatever
have come here.
happens,
I'm only 18.
happens.
I don't want to die yet. I've never even...
Hey, you clicked on this video, which means that you love Adolf Hitler. I don't know why you love Adolf Hitler. It is your opinion. You might have a specific reason, but I respect it.